Mike Smuckabee is at it again. Let's see what he says. Mike Huckabee, Dred Scott decision is still the law of the land regardless of the 14th Amendment. That's a headline from Raw Story. That's the title, anyway. What does it say? Republican presidential candidate Mike Huckabee argued on Wednesday that the 1827 Supreme Court ruling which declared that blacks did not have the rights to be citizens was, quotation, still the law of the land, unquote, even though the 14th Amendment overturned it. During an interview, radio show host Mike Medvedev with radio show host Mike Medvedev that was obtained by BuzzFeed, the former Arkansas governor complained that he had been, quote, drilled by TV hosts, unquote, after claiming the Rowan County clerk Kim Davis did not have the obligation to issue same-sex marriage license because of the Supreme Court's recent decision on marriage equality was not, quotations, law of the land, unquote, until lawmakers codified with
Okay, I have something really important that I want to say.
with legislation.
Like a flower in the spring.
Sorry about that. Quote, because that's their phrase. It's the law of the land, Huckabee explained. Quote, Michael, the Dred Scott decision of 1857 still remains the law of the land, which says that black people aren't fully human. Does anybody still follow the Dred Scott decision, unquote? Okay, I gotta stop it right there. First of all, Mike Huckabee, or should I say Smuckabee, look, black people are American citizens, okay? And they've been treated by non-bigoted white people like me and millions of others since, you know, for a long time already, since the 60s, okay? And even before the 60s, you had non-bigoted white people who had black friends, even though their parents told them not to hang out with the black kids because they were different from them. And they said, fuck that, they're people. And black people have been embraced by non-bigoted white Americans for a long time. And saying that the Dred Scott decision of the year 1857, before the Civil War, is still the law of the land, you have to be a fucking idiot to think that's still the law of the land. Have you ever heard of the Civil Rights Movement? Have you ever heard of the 20th century? Have you ever heard of Harvey Milk, the only openly gay senator to be assassinated for being gay? I mean, these events happened in the 20th century, Mike Huckabee. I mean, the Dred Scott decision is not the law of the land. That got overturned years ago. Years ago. How fucking stupid do you gotta be to think that's still the law of the land? Anyway, the article continues. Medvedev reminded the county the 13th Amendment had overturned slavery, and as BuzzFeed's Christopher Mazie noted, the 14th Amendment overturned Dred Scott decision by establishing birthright citizenship. Huckabee insisted that a constitutional amendment would not be required to overturn the same-sex marriage ruling because it was not valid in the first place. I don't think that's necessary, the former governor opined, because in the case of the decision, it goes back to what Jefferson said, that if a decision is rendered that is not born out by the will of the people, either through their elected people and gone through the process, if you just say it's the law of the land because the court decided, then Jefferson said, now you have surrendered to judicial tyranny. Okay. Obviously, he's trying to sound intelligent by quoting Jefferson. First of all, Huckabee, you're part of the party, the new GOP, not the old GOP, not the party of Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, and Eisenhower. No, you're a part of the Republican GOP of Reagan, and you have to understand, Jefferson, first of all, made education a birthright for white Americans. That is true. He didn't see his own slaves as human beings. However, this, no law in this country, and no ruling in this country is higher than the Supreme Court. So when the Supreme Court says, yes, gay marriage is now legal, it's legal, okay? You cannot go higher than the Supreme Court in America. And it's not 1857 anymore. It's not the 1600s. It's not the 1700s. It's the 21st fucking century. Okay, Mike Smuckabee? Why are you even running for president? You sound like you should be running for president back in the time of when slavery was still legal. You could have been a great Democrat for the South. Finally, this article concludes with the quote. I'm pretty sure it's still Huckabee who talked about this. The Supreme Court in the same-sex marriage decision made a law, and they made it out of thin air, he added. Therefore, until Congress decides to codify that and give it a statute, it is really not an operative law, and that's what Kim Davis did was operate under, not under the Kentucky Constitution, which was under the law, which she was elected when she was operating under the fact that there's no statute in her state nor a federal level that authorizes her. Okay, Mike Huckabee, like I said, Schmuckabee. You know what, that's what I'm going to call you from now on, Mike Schmuckabee. Look, that law was not created out of thin air. There were petitions since the 70s and 80s to get same-sex marriage legalized. And it had very few supporters. It had like 20 to 30% within the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But in this day and age, it had tons of fucking support from people my age who are Republican and or who are Democrat as well. I'm not a Republican, I'm a Democrat, but people my age who are Republican and or Democrat or independents, they say, yeah, they have the right to get wed just as everyone else, and they have the right to, you know, be human beings as well. But Mike Huckabee is the first one to say that an outdated law is the law of the land. I mean, there were many politicians before him that said stupid shit like this. So with all this being said, Mike Huckabee thinks that Kim Davis didn't do anything wrong. Well, yeah, she did. Here's the thing. When gay marriage is the law of the land, when the Supreme Court declared gay marriage is the law of the land, gay people have the right to get wed. When they said that, first of all, now it's a part of my community's right to get wed if we want to. And the other thing is the fact that nationwide, gay marriage is legal. Nation fucking wide. Not statewide, nationwide. If you cannot understand what nationwide means, please drop out of the fucking race. Look, Kim Davis was an elected official, a Democratic elected official, which I'm quite embarrassed by, but she chose her religion over her job. She should be fucking impeached. She shouldn't be given her job back. She should be impeached for what she did.